I support the affirmative action bill that mandates at least 35% of seats in the legislative and executive arms being occupied by women. I urge the National Assembly to expedite the passage of the bill. I am committed to supporting initiatives that promote gender inclusion, women's empowerment, and national building. This has been my mission during my First Lady of Lagos State, as a senator, and now as the First Lady of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. I firmly believe in the importance of women's voices in governance. I urge my former colleagues, the civil society organizations, and the public to embrace the message of this exhibition and collaborate to ensure that women's voices are heard. Congratulations to the top 3 finalists and all the other talented artists who participated. May this exhibition inspire lasting change and pave the way for a more gender-sensitive and inclusive governance in Nigeria. God bless the National Assembly. God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
This bill is not merely about numbers or political arithmetic. It is about justice. It's about equity. It's about fairness. It's about inclusion. And as we push for this passage of the bill in the 10th Assembly, we recognize the legislative success that they are not achieved through legal arguments alone, but through the mobilization of hearts, through the mobilization of minds. And this exhibition does precisely that. Our minds need to be mobilized, our hearts need to be in tune with the desire to strike this balance. It's only when our hearts are convinced and our minds are made up that our votes will be inspired towards balancing the scale in governance as it concerns women inclusion. As we walk through this space, you will encounter visually compelling installations that provoke thought and demand a response on the necessity of gender inclusion. You will encounter interactive experiences that immerse visitors in the struggles, the triumphs, and in the aspiration of women in governance. You will encounter curated artistic work that weave together the intersections of art, the intersections of advocacy, intersections of leadership, offering both reflection and inspiration. This is where policy meets emotions, where governance is humanized, where burden transforms into narratives that cannot be ignored. Ladies and gentlemen, to reiterate, they are distinguished guests. This Act for Governance exhibition is more than an event. It is a movement. It is a declaration that representation is not a privilege, but a right. It is a call to reshape Nigeria's democratic future, not just through legislative votes, but through collective action, through persistent advocacy, and the compelling power of artistic expression. Ladies and gentlemen, because of this, you have decided to come. And because this is not just about passing a bill, but about shaping a legacy, about having a periscopic look in the room when policies are formulated. through the spectacles of the men and the spectacles of the women, the lenses will see better. That is why we are here. You are here to be counted. Not because you are women, but because you are men, but because you are Nigerians who want to have a nation whose policies and laws is blind to gender. Whose policies and laws is open to prosperity. There is no prosperity if the women are left behind. We are more prosperous when the genders unite to make the needed impact. That will be celebrated around the world, especially among the community of nations. Thank you for coming this evening. Have fun experiencing the display of colors and art while you make up your mind to speak to your husband, to your brothers, to your leaders, faith-based organizations, traditional leaders, youth organizations. Speak to those that matter, the stakeholders. Let them encourage their representatives to vote for the inclusion of their mothers and their wives and their daughters and their friends. God bless you as again, and God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
The Art for Governance exhibition is a key initiative that serves as a platform to amplify advocacy through art, raise awareness of the lack of female representation in Nigeria's legislative process, engage key decision makers in a dynamic advocacy movement, and have humanized the special seat bill by illustrating the benefits of inclusive governance through relatable storytelling. What you see on display today is more than mere decoration or entertainment. These pieces are powerful, and they are powerful symbols representing themes of female empowerment and inclusive governance. Here, art becomes a vehicle for social change, urging us to recognize the importance of gender equality and women's representation in political offices. Through this exhibition, we celebrate not only the creativity of our nation's artists, but also the birth of a movement, one that embraces equality, inclusion, and the empowerment of women. As we look ahead, let us remember that nation building requires the active participation of all citizens, both men and women. It requires listening to voices that have long been marginalized, uplifting their stories, and creating pathways for their full inclusion in governance. In closing, I want to encourage everyone here to deeply engage with the arts on display. Let it spark meaningful conversations and shift perceptions about how we can collectively work toward a more inclusive and equitable Nigeria. Let us carry these lessons of this exhibition forward, using them as tools for advocacy and championing the cause of women's empowerment and representation of a society. So together, dialogue, participation, we can paint a future. Every voice matters. Democratic journey. Thank you for inviting me, and I wish everyone here a happy Women's Day. And it's not today, but this is the week and this is the month, and so it's a very special time for us to celebrate women, and I'm proud to be here celebrating women. Thank you very much.
We have to continue the conversation through any medium. Art is one of the special ways that women express themselves. We'll continue to use every medium to be able to achieve this equality. In the words of the Canadian president, he said, inclusion of women is not the right thing to do. He said it's the smart thing to do. Nobody can clap with one hand. Nobody. And nobody can walk with one leg. It's got to be two. When there's inclusion, the perspectives are fresh. We have, diversity. We have, relevance when it comes to even problem solving. Everybody thinks differently. Women think differently, men think differently. We need, gender lenses when we look at stuff for proper balance and for inclusion. We'll continue to work towards that. I remain your advocate. I remain your cheerleader. As women, we will continue to work on ourselves so that we're complying, so that whatever is given to us is not based on entitlement or charity, we will earn it. And on my own part, I can assure you that I'll put money, as directed by the First Lady, put money in the hands of women so that they can be able to compete. Because we know that it's 1 o'clock. Thank you so much. Happy Women's Month. Thank you for this program, the Office of the Deputy Speaker. Thank you once again.
Just a few days ago, we launched another work of art, a compendium on women in leadership and governance in Nigeria, because we felt that a lot of people just see women and they say she's a woman. Sometimes some of our members, when they want to describe some of our female colleagues, they say the big one, the fat one, the fair one, the old one, and I'm like, no, we needed something to educate our men on who we really are. A lot of women are medical doctors, engineers, qualified professionals in their own right. We needed a record to remind the men that a lot of women are far better than the men, but they need to know so that they will respect us for who we really are. That was the purpose of that compendium. And I also want to say that please, I want to use this medium to cry out loud to our political parties. We need political party reforms. I want to heartily commend the Speaker of the House of Representatives for recently ensuring that the National Executive Council of our party included some of our women in the NEC. That is the highest body of the political party. This is the right step in the right direction. We have the right leadership in the House of Representatives, ably led by Right Honorable Benjamin Kalu and Right Honorable Tajudeen Abbas. Let's also know that Right Honorable Benjamin Kalu is the mover, the sponsor of the special seats for our women. Let's give him a very loud round of applause for that. We commend you, we appreciate you, we love you for all you are doing. And we know that there's no better time than now for us to have a legislation that truly will promote the representation of women in leadership. Thank you.
Women's empowerment is a challenge for all countries across the world. And we know that at the current pace that we are going, the world will need 2 or 3 centuries to achieve real equality. So we have to accelerate. And our presence tonight is a respectful message of support and encouragement to Nigeria to advance decisively in its legislative path towards real equality in political representation between women and men. But it is also a message of congratulations and appreciation to the Right Honourable Deputy Speaker Benjamin Kalu, to our friends of ElectHER, and of course the artists, because art is a powerful factor to raise awareness, to convince the hearts, and show us that another world is possible. A world where real equality reigns between men and women for the benefit of all, men and women alike, and not for our granddaughters, but for this generation. Thank you very much.